Hi everyone, and welcome to Bucs UK TV. And it is a victory week, so we're all looking a lot happier than we were last week. It's the usual crew back again. I'm joined this week by David, Graeme, and Adam.
Hi there.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
And we'll get the obligatory begging out of the way first of all. Please subscribe. Please give us a thumbs up. Please comment. We want to feel like we've got some friends. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you very much. There we go. It's done. So at that point, we will crack on straight away and talk all about the Panthers. So, as I said, it is a victorious week in Buckstown. It was a nice victory. We might have started a little rocky, but we certainly ended downhill. David, how much fun was that to watch?
Oh, well, you know, the first half wasn't ideal. It was a little bit tough. It was a little bit on edge. But the way we sort of blew them away in the second half was just fantastic, wasn't it? It really brought back that feel-good factor for us. Just what we needed.
Yeah, it was nice to not be actually sort of sweating at the end of the game, wasn't it, Graeme?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of, I hate to say it's becoming the norm, but that's probably 3 or 4 times now this season that we've just run away with games like that, and it's after years of what we've had to watch, it's great to see that. It really is. You've got to enjoy it while it lasts, because you know the guys here who've been around for a few years, we know this ain't gonna last forever.
No. I think we just have to think back to a few weeks ago for that. So Adam, let's start talking straight away about the hours we normally do.
Yeah.
What were your takeaways on offense?
Well, apart from the first quarter, I thought absolutely brilliant. Really good. Took control of the whole game. There's one thing I don't like, even though we're winning, there's one thing I'm not too happy about. Well, I don't know if it's happy, but the amount of times we're targeting the running backs. Now, it's a strange thing. I don't know. Have a guess how many times that Fournette has been targeted the last couple of weeks.
So you mean passing to a running back?
Yes, not rushes.
Oh, I've not been paying attention. What do you reckon? 5?
Well, since the Raiders game, he's had 7. Just Fournette now. This is not Rojo as well. 7 targets, 6 targets in the Giants game, 6 targets in the Saints game, 3 targets in the Panthers game. Just one running back. And I've looked through the stats as well. And the less we throw to the running backs, the more we win by. So I don't know whether that's some voodoo.
There's 2 things to that, isn't there? The first one is we need a running game, and we brought it out last week. And, you know, when you don't, and that's the playoff. And you remember, Brady can't play out the pocket. And we've had, in those games in particular, the pocket was collapsing all around him, and he had to play it quick. You know, and really the whole victory stemmed, everything was around the running game, which I've been screaming about for weeks. Yeah. You have to have a balanced offense with Tom Brady. If you just sit him in a pocket, they can just play deep, cover our receivers, and then attack him, and the pocket collapses. You need a running game, and thankfully it came good, and we looked so much better for it, didn't we?
Really did. And I think we've been saying for weeks, haven't we, about running outside. We must run outside. Now, Adam, am I safe to say you don't mind running inside if it goes for 98 yards?
Well, I'm happy if it goes for 98 yards. I'm happy with anything. You can run backwards for 98 yards and it doesn't bother me.
That was a beautiful play.
And wasn't it nice that Rojo made a run and we didn't have to look back for a flag?
I was looking for it.
Listen,
I
couldn't celebrate. I couldn't celebrate until I saw the guy standing with his arms up. Yep, we've got it. Kept waiting to see the yellow handkerchief line there.
Credit to the Panthers secondary though, because Rojo is fast, but he had to dodge a tackle. They caught up with him.
That guy took like 5 yards up on him, didn't he?
I loved the way that he was looking at the screen to see when they were going to make the tackle.
Yeah,
absolutely, that was brilliant. Yeah,
fun. Hats off to the O-line as well. Some brilliant blocking. If we're talking about the O still, that's one thing that's got to be said. All our good plays, or a high percentage of our good plays, brilliant blocks. Whether it be Mike Evans making a block, Chris Godwin, Jensen and Kappa. Kappa had a brilliant blocking game this game.
Yeah, and AQ Shipley came in and really did a job.
Oh,
And you notice Hegg was only in for 4 plays all game. I mean, it was a world of difference, and it really showed where the vulnerabilities were from the Saints game, didn't it?
That's
You're right,
right.
Dave. And just for everyone else's benefit, obviously that was the line shuffling around, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's right, because they moved they put him in, Shipley in at centre, and they moved Jensen, didn't they, to the left. And so he was paired up with our good friend Donovan Smith.
And to be fair, that was the 2 guys who sprung the 98-yard touchdown. Smith got in there, left Jensen to walk through into the second level and just nailed the guy, and off goes Rojo for 98. Yeah, well done.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
I saw that Jensen had tweeted the next gen stats, had done a little diagram animating it. He's like,
yes,
who's that
I saw
number 66 blocking forwards?
But did you see when Rojo went downfield, who the players were behind him? I mean, about third behind him was Brady. He was following him all the way.
Yeah,
Brady ran into the end zone and hugged him.
For a 43-year-old quarterback who could have just sat back and watched it as a thing of beauty, he was right up there celebrating with him from the whole play.
Yeah.
Well, we always win when we run the ball.
Yeah.
Simple as.
Yeah.
Whenever we don't, whenever we abandon the run, we have a poor game, or we're always worrying about it. So please, Arians.
I think to a man on the message board, when Rojo had that fumble with the first play, everyone thought, well, that's him out the game. But to be fair, that's a really good advert for sticking with the one guy and sticking with the running game, because it's not just about that 98 yards. I mean, he had another 100 yards apart from that in the game. He really had a good game. But it just
I think
big time.
The week before, when we totally abandoned it from the off and had 4+1 fake run play, so 5 in total, that was so emphasised in the week they couldn't do anything else but really go for the run that day.
Yeah.
But we've been screaming for it for such a long time.
Yeah, big time.
And one of you mentioned about the receivers blocking. Let's come on and talk about the catching side of the game. So we talked about the running. The passing game wasn't half bad either, but there were a few points probably we left on the ground, weren't there, Graeme?
Definitely. I think with a 21, a 22, and a 24-yard field goal, I mean, that's goal to go. Where we've been absolutely lights out all season until I think last week and this week's the first 3 or 4 times that we've not gone into the end zone for 6 from that close in. So let's count that as a little hiccup. Hopefully that we can smooth over that one next week. I did also, you would notice that Brady missed probably 3 long bombs too, which he must have won, and they were his fault really. He seemed to kind of overthrow. He would have wanted those back. I mean, it's difficult to complain when you've scored 46 points and run a game the way you have, but they're probably left 14, 15, 16 points out there. Definitely.
I think you're right. I think in a way it's almost great that there's still room for improvement when we put 46 points on. Yeah. Because as we're going to talk about the Rams coming up, but we all know the week after is the Chiefs, and that's the one where we've really got to step up. If Brady connects on, 1 or 2 more of those balls, we're into 50-burger territory. Yeah. And while we're talking about scores, there's another Twitter tweet I saw from an NFL page. This is the first time an NFL game has ever finished 46-23.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a sort of Google whack. I can't remember what they called it, but we got the full house there.
Yeah. We're going to win a lot of games. Oh, go on.
Yeah, of Brady's passing though, because early on, like I say, he missed 3 wide open people, and then when he got in the red zone, he was absolutely firing those balls in there. I mean, now Tyler Johnson was meant to catch that and nearly ripped his arm off.
You wouldn't want to get your hands in the way, would you?
Now, Mike Evans made an absolutely stunning play to take that touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike Evans, they were saying how great the pass was to thread it, but it was behind him, Mike Evans. He had to sort of bend himself double. There was another play to, I think it was, and there was an AB where we had AB down deep and he underthrew it. And AB did a great job of slowing down, but also...
The one they threw to Godwin on the right touchline when Godwin turned back and the ball kind of came between 2 defenders. Somehow he managed to see it and catch it. It was an incredible catch.
Unbelievable throw.
But on the AB one, what was great is AB didn't lay out to catch the ball until the last second. He knew it was underthrown. He turned around and looked like he was slowing down and then just caught the ball. And because when the defenders are doing that, they've got their head away from the quarterback and they're just trying to flap at whatever point the receiver slays out for the ball. So it was really well played. And AB, credit to him. I think he had a great game, and maybe we'll talk a bit about him now and a bit about special teams. But actually, the underthrows probably worried me more than the overthrows, because they're the ones that get picked off.
Yeah. We went to 9 different receivers as well. It's good to see Blake get involved again, because when we do try, he can be a beast as well, and he can play. And I think we've misused him a lot this year.
I'm hoping he still slides under the radar, and the other team don't sort of pick him up as a main receiver, because he can do some damage. We all know that.
Yeah, I still find Mike Evans still such an enigma. One minute he's making these fantastic catches for a touchdown. Next minute, the guy bumps him in the end zone, he just stops and looks, and the ball whizzes past him, and you're, come on, Mike. And you saw the time when they were all talking on the sideline, and he was yapping away, and they just got a touchdown. He wasn't happy about something, and but I guess you take that edge off him, you take something out of his game, but he just sometimes just annoys me so much.
He's happy when he's angry.
Yeah.
But I still do believe that when the ball's not coming to him, or he knows it's not, he quits on plays too easy. Obviously, the one in the end zone was obvious, where actually play the play out and then worry about the flag afterwards.
Yeah.
But there was a couple. There was another run down the side to Antonio Brown. Brown took it. He had space down the line, and actually Evans was there, and he could have made a block and got us another 10, 15, and he just stopped playing. And sometimes he looks disinterested, and you wonder whether that's some of the issues around when we've had the interceptions in the past, both with Jamie's and even Brady this season, that sometimes Evans can't be relied on to finish his route.
Yeah, and I'll speak up in his defence a little bit. We still don't know if he's 100% fit or not.
No.
If every step is agony, I'll cut him a bit more slack for that. But you are right.
Well, I don't. As long as Bradley Pinion is not punting, we're going to win a lot of games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic start of the week.
Unbelievable.
With punts.
0 punts.
0. Yeah.
Touchdown, field goal.
Drastically improved his special teams grade, by the way.
Yeah. Well, if we can score on every possession, bar that first one, the Rojo fumble, every possession's a score. So I don't even mind getting those field goals, even though, again, we could be up in the 50s with a bit of improvement. So, yeah.
And what was great is, again, heads didn't drop, people didn't panic. Everyone just went, back to work. Next drive, we'll do it again.
Well, that's it. At the end of the day, if you're scoring 3 points, you're still ticking the scoreboard over. You're still, you're keeping yourself in the game, maybe pulling away a little bit. So 3 points is a lot better than nothing. A lot better.
For a long time, we were hanging around, weren't we? 17-10, 17-13, just keeping in the game, keeping it manageable. And that's all we had to do, really.
Yep.
Okay, so let's go to the other side of the ball then, the D. So I think the O, obviously we said game of 2 halves, as it were. They really got into gear. I think the same could be said for the D, although they kind of flashed a little bit, sort of in different places. Adam, if we maybe start with you, who were your sort of standouts on D?
Well, the obvious one is JPP straight away. Took the ball away at the interception. He played well. Apart from the first quarter, I think the D played okay. I still don't like the soft coverage, but none of us do. No one likes the soft coverage. I wish they play more man. But other than that, I'm not too disappointed with it. To go in at halftime 17-all was a key point. I think if we hadn't got that back, it would have been a different story. Or could have been.
Soft coverage. I think there was at least one play I saw where we dropped 10. And it was like, maybe we were rushing 2. You couldn't really tell from the replay. We either dropped 9 or we dropped 10, but we were everyone was just sat back and stood still. And unfortunately, I think that some of the plate teams we play, that's not going to work.
No.
And we always seem to do it on third downs as well.
I know, 3rd and long.
Infuriating. Third and longs, you think you've got to stop. And then we just have receivers sort of wide open with 4 backs surrounding him, but no one close.
It's so blatantly obvious that we're better with pressure as well. Like I said in a previous podcast that we can't always blitz and we can't always do this to certain players. but we are so much better when we bring the kitchen sink. It's simple as it looks better, it's more effective, and every good thing that comes, like a turnover or whatever, always comes from our pressure.
I mean, I was surprised Minter, he had one play in the whole game.
Yeah.
And he got through, took out the quarterback, got a tough flag, I think, in many respects.
Very much
it was
so.
a little bit helmet, but I thought that was a great thing. And that was the only play he made all game.
I presume they did give it for helmet to helmet. The ref didn't say that was what it was. But, you're taught to tackle heads up, and he had his head up.
It was like, it was face mask. It wasn't like head down, was it?
Yeah, it was grill to grill.
And if you're worried about helmet-to-helmet collisions, then you need to look at pretty much any running play in the NFL where the running back puts their head down at the end.
I know.
I think it's one of those things. They're just going to protect quarterbacks, aren't they?
Yeah.
No, we've already seen Drew Brees heading into A&E now with his set of ailments, and obviously we wish him well for a few weeks' time, maybe after the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they just want to keep as many quarterbacks running around the league as they can, can't they? So I think we get that.
Yeah.
Graeme, what do you think about? So we talked about the D line. We talked about that pass coverage. Anything to say about the sort of the secondary and the safeties and that core of the D?
I liked. I'll tell you what I did like, and I was watching Ronde Barber kind of going through it on the Buccaneer.com website today. Was the play when JPP made the interception, and how they actually only rushed 4 there, and it was Jamal Dean who was the 4th man. There were 5 men on the line. Jamal Dean came round the outside, and JPP dropped back. And you watch these schemes, and that's fantastic. I think you're talking about pressure. You don't have to rush 5-6 guys to get pressure, but if you scheme it properly, and you do it like that, where they're completely unexpected. They had 2 guys standing there with no one to block, just standing looking around, and we've got 2 guys on top of the quarterback, and he throws a pick. In terms of, I'm trying to think. There was maybe only one long play, big rainbow that was thrown in the first half, which we gave up about 40 or 50 yards. Yeah, but I think generally speaking, not too bad. I've been the biggest proponent of this defence, saying, guys looking like the team from the early 2000s and the like. I think we show that in flashes now. I think where we lack is we're not dominant. We're not really dominant for a whole game. And maybe that's to come. Well, I hope that's to come. But I think that's my kind of only gripe, if you like. The consistency and the dominance isn't there. But in saying that, second half was absolutely, I think that was lights out. Maybe about 40 yards or 45 yards of offense given up in the entire 30 minutes. I think we need to be doing that. I think we need to be doing that for 60 minutes every now and again to really hammer teams, to become an elite team. But all in all, again, it's nitpicking. We always say on the board that there's not enough pressure on the quarterback, but we kind of get there eventually. Got their 3 sacks in, whatever it was. So yeah, we're getting the job done. I think we're getting the job done, but not quite.
It was a real sort of workman-like effort. Sorry, we shouldn't be gender neutral. Work person-like effort. Where we closed the game out. We actually managed to run the ball towards the end. We managed to get the clock ticking. I think the time of possession was over 36 minutes, which I think that's clearly a good sign. Yes, they were ineffective. Yes, the D got off the ball, but a lot of that I think came at the end where we just killed the 4th quarter.
Yeah, still this slow start is kind of a little bit gnaws away at me. I'd rather see us, sometimes the first drive's okay, but after that you should really be shutting teams down, and I think we really didn't do that. Albeit, look at the Panthers, the previous game against. They really gave the Chiefs a run for their money.
Yeah.
So I'm glad McCaffrey wasn't there. Yeah, I'm glad McCaffrey wasn't playing because it could have been a different result. Yeah.
Okay, so let's come on to talk about our final third of the game, the special teams. We've already touched on Pinion's on punting prowess to fully alliterate. I should have that on a T-shirt. And I thought his kickoffs were okay. Adam, maybe if you start. Special teams, break it down.
Well, they caught that fake punt, didn't they? Which was brilliant. But I got to be honest, other than that, they are average at best. That's about it. I can't have a go at Suck-Up, right? Suck-Up's doing absolutely everything. He's been flawless. I know he had one blocked, but
I think that was as much the guy making a good play.
Oh,
Us not
100%,
blocking the guy down. You know, he just stood up and put his hand up in the air and blocked.
I know it was a little low trajectory, but yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
But apart from that, I think the Panthers have tried that like 4 or 5 times on that fake punt. So it was a stupid decision by them, and we had it covered straight away. It looked half-hearted.
Didn't they do one to us in London?
Yeah.
Did they? Yeah, they did one in the first game this season. They did.
Yeah, that's right.
They've done 4 this season already, haven't they?
Yeah, they've tried a few. They've tried 3 or 4, I think.
Yeah.
So brilliant play when needed.
Yeah, they've done 4. They've executed 4 this season. That's the first one they've failed on this season.
Yeah.
But
I was watching for Gary, and I didn't see any runs to the outside, any returns. So I don't know. I was interested to see how AB was going to do returning, but it just wasn't the right game, was it?
Well, I think it was quite blowy. I mean, obviously, again, the fact that they had to do the finger on the ball for the kickoff shows you how blowy it was. I couldn't stand it when the commenters were saying, "I've always wanted someone to do a Charlie Brown in Peanuts," and like Sally pulling the ball. Don't do that. But other than that, it was clearly blowy. And I think again, what AB was doing was he saw the ball was coming down. It was coming down roughly around the 10-yard line. Yeah. He does not want to be fielding that. So again, he was using his smarts. He was pretending to catch it, pretending to start running, hoping he could draw one or 2 of the gunners and let it bounce, safely away. They didn't fall for it. We had some shoddy field position, hence starting at our 2-yard line.
Yeah, I know.
Twice, actually, twice. They downed the ball at the 2-yard line twice, but the first one was the end of the first half, fortunately. And the second one, we all know what happened. So, yeah. All's well.
So that's probably it for special teams, isn't it? I think
they're just average.
Well, they did let one big play, didn't they, on that kickoff return? Yeah. And Sean Murphy-Bunting made a brilliant play to stop
Fantastic.
it. Fantastic, Bridgewater still got in, but that was great effort to see that out there from a Bucs player.
A big solo effort.
Yeah.
Mm.
So the last thing we talk about when we review the game is we give Bruce Arians and the magic wand. If you're the coach and you can work magic and miracles, what's the thing you're going to focus on coming into the week ahead? David, do you want to tell us how you're going to spend your magic points?
Getting off to a good early start. At the beginning of the season, our first drives on offense were great. The last few games, we've really struggled early on. We've come into it, but I really want us to get off to a good start this game.
Yeah, so a nice early start for the Bucs. Graeme?
I'm going to wave my wand, my magic penalty wand again. It worked the last time, and I just want to keep sprinkling that magic dust on the lack of penalties. I think we've been pretty decent at that mostly the last few weeks, and just keep that going because that's what kills us.
Brilliant. Okay, and Adam?
Well, I'm going to be a naughty magic on there, and I'm going to sprinkle some injuries on Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey and all those guys. Let's take those out of the game. We're playing all right, we are at the moment, so let's take the opposition out of the way.
That's Adam's plague stick making its way towards Los Angeles. Stick. Well, my magic wand, I'm going to wave squarely at Jamil Dean. That's not out of hate, it's out of love. I just want him to be a little bit more consistent and to play at the level that we know he's capable of. Cool. Okay, well then it's over to the views of our members. Before we get to our member views, we have our other member news. We are delighted to welcome our 400th member, aren't we, David?
Absolutely. Fantastic, isn't it? What can you say? Our 400th signed up member for the season. This is not forever. This is not sort of after 15 years. This is for this season. We have 400 members, which is absolutely fantastic. So welcome on board, James Spencer. And actually, we're already up for 405. So the growth continues, which is brilliant.
So yeah, thank you, James, for sending in your picture and allowing us to make you our poster person for the week. You're going to be the cover image going on social media for this episode. So we managed to bribe him with the T-shirt, so he's done quite well out of it. Then on to our member views proper from the game. First, we've got Alex Howes. Bit of a rough start, then a lot of fun. Love a Sunday evening like this. Have a good week all. I think we're all sitting there on the forum posting, and it feels so much better to go to work the next day after a win.
Fantastic.
Then we've got Daniel Markowski. It was squeaky bum time for a while, but before Tom got peed off and laid down the law. Great win. Yeah, says it as it is. Mariana, who we saw recently, game of two halves again, but pleased to get the win this week and move on to 7-3. I'm trying to not get too excited as I've never seen us in the playoffs, but I'm feeling optimistic that we're edging closer. Maybe we can come on to talk about that when we preview, but at what point we start mentioning the P word sounds very encouraging. And then Lee Merrison, who's rejoined the club. Horrible start, great response. All in all, a good one. See you next Monday night, Tuesday morning for the Rams game. That's right. I know we keep moaning about it, but yet again, it's going to be another time to get up at silly o'clock on Tuesday morning to follow the game. And then finally, we had another question in from the Cayman crew. Mark Woolard wanted to put to the panel, should we not target Break more? And I don't know if he's trying to test our grammar as much as he is our footballing knowledge. So should we not target Breakmore? So yes, we should not target Breakmore.
Yes, we shouldn't.
What do you think, David? We were talking about Bray earlier.
Yeah, as I say, I'm a big fan of Bray. He's a big target. And he was struggling a couple of years ago, but he had quite a nasty hip injury, which he never really made anything of. But when he's fit, he's a beast out there as well. And the more options you've got to go to, the better. I'd definitely like to see him do a little less blocking and a bit more catching.
I think he's been really hampered by Gronk because they're so similar in many ways. They're not speedsters. They're sort of that possession receiver down the seam, running across the field wherever the sticks happen to be. And so he's been hurt by that, I think. But at the same time, unfortunate as it is that OJ's gone down, I think, Brait's definitely stepped up, as has, AA and Tanner and others. I think it's a real position of strength across the team. As ever, we give thanks to Bucs Report for their help in promoting our podcast. And now we're on to this week's Beanie and Patch giveaway, where as winter's drawing in, you can win your Bucs UK beanie hat and the brand new 2021 member patches. If you want to get your hands on one of those, you're going to need to renew or win this competition. A few fewer names on the wheel this week, but let's see who's going home with a beanie and a patch.
Ooh.
Mark.
Oh, well done.
Well done to you, Mark. That's Ice Packs on the forum. If you don't know who
Ice
Mark
packs.
is, your patch and beanie shall be winging their way to you as we speak. At which point we will then move ahead to start to think about the Rams game. This week's opponent are the Los Angeles Rams. That's right. We're going to try and finish our double over the LA teams. Adam, we've been talking about the Rams, haven't we? And what's your overall perception of the Rams at the moment?
Well, the defense is certainly more scary than the offense by the looks of it. I know they've stole a couple of our players, haven't they? Ex-players. Matt Gay signing them today. Ray Calais.
Yeah.
They picked him up from practice squad. So I don't know. Aaron Donald obviously is one to watch, massive one to watch. He can do it to the best lineman. He can have his way with anyone. So we're going to need to try and scheme a way around getting the ball out quickly. Maybe actually go against everything I said at the start of the show and use the running backs a bit more. Use running backs in the passing game. I don't know. Just anything to get it away and put him out of the game. If Aaron Donald is a non-factor, there's every chance we could win this.
Okay, so he's your player on their side to watch.
Oh,
Graeme, who do you think is going to cause problems or we need to take account
Yeah,
for?
I'm in the same boat as you guys. I think it's their defense we have to worry about. But just looking at last week's figures, and they had 6 sacks, 5 of them by linebackers. Now, to me, our offensive line is going to have to be absolutely on the ball and watching the schemes that are going on their defence. A couple of interceptions as well. They're the number 2 scoring defence in the league. So tough game coming up. And I think, as I say, we need to establish the run to get these guys to calm down a little bit and get them to back off a little bit. So offensive line, our offensive line is absolutely going to be the key. So really hopeful we get back to full strength this week, get Marpet back with a bit of luck. I think he's still in concussion protocols just now, but hopefully back this week and back to full strength, because we're going to need to be there. This will be a great test for us, I think. I think we'll really see where we are this week. I think playing teams like Carolina are a bit up and down and other teams like that, but this is a good, strong team. So very similar record to us, similar style insofar as very strong defensively. So I think this is a big test for us.
Sure, and what you say there means it primes us to have to start the game quickly. If we get behind and we struggle to run, or we're relying on the pass and all those defenders can pin their ears back and rush us.
Yeah, correct.
It's going to be a bit awkward, isn't it?
Yeah.
David, do you think the D is mountable, or we can do it?
Well, again, I mean, it was bizarre watching them against the Seahawks last week. I mean, Russell Wilson seems to have been a bit on the decline the last 2 or 3 games, but they had him running for his life. Now, albeit you say, the linebackers made most of the sacks because, Russell Wilson gets out the pocket, doesn't he? He moves around, he makes plays. That is not Bucs football. So I think we'll have a totally different offensive scheme against them anyway. And I say the running is going to be important to mix it up. Even if we just pound it for 2, 3, 4 yards, that still makes the chances for then us to throw it downfield and mix it up a bit. And I think that's the way we've got to go. We've got to use the run game to keep them lean, keep them watchful, and create space for our receivers downfield. But that D is definitely something to be wary of.
I would say, David, we'll stick with you and then start to talk about the offensive side of the ball. I think, a few years ago, this was an offense which everyone feared. It was scoring points left, right, and centre. There's that cracking game, where the Bucs played them. Spoiler, we won. And it was just a ding-dong battle. They don't seem to have that sort of flashiness anymore.
No, I mean, Jared Goff's a good player. I mean, he's definitely maturing as a quarterback, and he's certainly, makes far better decisions than he did in the past. But, they've obviously receivers like Josh Reynolds, Tyler Higbee, Cooper Kupp can still make plays. So they've got, some good players there that, on their day, they can all deliver, can't they? And, from the running game as well, Cam Akers, Malcolm Brown, and Henderson, they sort of run by a committee, so, it's not just pinning one guy down. They've always got a second or third option out there. So, they're a real mixed bag to play against offensively.
Okay, and Graeme, you were talking about matchups and how their D matches up to our O. How do you think their O matches up to our D?
Well, they're kind of upper echelon, upper half of the rankings, kind of 10th, 15th ranking offense in terms of rush and pass. So they're pretty decent, but I think if we can quell the run, if we can do what we do every week with everyone and stop them running the ball, again, it just comes just what we always say every week, stop the run and then key in the pass. I think we can do that with these guys. I think we can stop them scoring and spinning it the other way. Can we score against their defense? That's going to be the thing.
I mean, I think one big thing where we were missing Ali Marpet, Andrew Whitworth's down now, isn't he? They've had to put him on injured reserve. So that is definitely a chink in their line that we can start attacking.
Anton?
Yeah, I just think that they haven't come up against defense like ours yet. The close game with the Seahawks, I know they've run away with it a bit, but the Seahawks defense is nothing like ours. We are so much more dominant than them. So I think in terms of the matchups of their O, our D, I think our defense can completely take over this game and just stop them, because Goff's a bit of a game manager. He's not like Russell Wilson, is he, where he can do things out of the pocket as such. So I think if we can keep them quiet defensively, then they're always not gonna be able to match up with us.
Okay, good call. And then, so turning to the Bucs, we've talked about some of the names for the Rams, but which Bucs do you think are going to be the key to success this week? Maybe Adam, if we start with you and we're going in reverse order, either side of the ball, who are the Bucs that really need to show up this week?
Yeah, I'm tempted to say our O-line, just because of Aaron Donald is a game wrecker. So I'm tempted to say, players-wise, it's going to be the O-line. And I hope the scheme helps the O-line out. So I hope we're scheming up a few plays that'll help the O-line overcome any of these problems they might have. So yeah, for me, it's the O-line.
And Graeme?
Yeah, can't disagree. That to me, that's the key to the game right here. The O-line. If the O-line do what they can do, we know they can do it. If they all play to the best of their ability, I think we can take these defensive linemen and linebackers out of the game, and then let's see what Rojo can do. And I think he's proved now he's heading into the realms of an elite running back. Needs to do it against a good defense like this. So let's see if he can do it. But he needs the offensive line to do their job first, and it just all comes back to that. It's in the trenches this week. That's where it's going to be won or lost.
Yeah.
David, do you agree with that?
Absolutely, but also want to see our defensive line tackle better from the off this week. I think the last couple of games, our tackling up front hasn't been as good as it can be. So we need to do that. And I want to see Shaq Barrett again get a Goff early. Let's attack their weakness with a bit more out and try and get at them early. I'd rather
dominate them.
Get ahead, yeah.
I think you're right. And I although you're talking about the D-line, I think I'd put that on the linebackers as well. That quickness and that speed. It feels like in the past, people sort of got 2 yards and fell forward for a third. Now they may be picking up 3 and falling forward for a fourth. And that's the difference between, third and long versus third and short sometimes. So, yeah, I think I absolutely agree with you. In terms of our score predictions then, so, how's this going to turn out for us? What's the final score going to be? Graeme, if we start with you.
Yep, I'm going for a tight one. I'm going for the Bucs to squeak it 23-20.
Oh, is that a missed PAT on each side?
I think it's a lot of field goals, to be honest.
Okay. All right. Let's hope the wind's died down. Okay.
A couple of touchdowns and a lot of field goals.
Field goal fest for you, Graeme. Adam?
I think it's going to be a tight game, but I think it's going to be a higher scoring, something like 38-35 or something to the Bucs.
Do you know, I'll just jump in ahead of David because I had exactly the same score in my mind.
Really? Yeah.
I don't want to be too Darren Brown with you. Yeah. 38-35 to the Bucs.
I think
it's going to be who gets the ball last again. I know I always say that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Time management, who gets the ball last.
David?
I saw us getting 37-28 win. I think there's definitely going to be some plays and some scoring out there.
That could be another first time ever score. 37-28. Where did that come from?
I don't know. It was a number I plucked from the air.
I'm going to go to that website.
My biggest worry about the whole night is prime time in Raymond James Stadium, which we do not perform well at. Irrespective of who we're playing, that's my biggest worry is prime time. Ray J, and I just hope, particularly for our great friend Brian Ford and the whole of the Bucs front office as well, I really hope we turn up and have a great performance.
They do. They all work so hard, don't they, to put on a show and a great event. But you're only as good as what's on the field.
No, I don't think we can expect a massive game from Mike Evans with Jalen Ramsey covering him. So I'm not expecting too much of that. I'm expecting more of spreading the ball around and a sort of back and forth until whoever has the ball last, and that's who's going to win.
With a Matt Gay missed field goal?
Don't jinx it, Dave. Don't jinx it.
Don't say it.
So that's how we think it's going to go down. Please do let us know your views. Either post on the forum or comment on the video below. You can email us at mail@bucsuk.org, or you can WhatsApp us on 07311 212 713. I just need to thank everyone for joining us and watching, and thank David, Graeme, and Adam for top bants this week.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks,
and
guys.
let's hope we're having another victory podcast next week. Goodbye.
Let's hope so.
Okay,
Good night.
You're much better.